If you get laid off, the company might offer you a severance package, but only if you follow their rules. And one of them is you can't say a word. But it looks like that's coming to an end, so stick around and I'm going to tell you more. Hey everybody, it's Brian from Life After Layoff. Today I want to talk to you about a pretty big development in employee rights, and if you're a recently laid off person, you're going to want to listen to this one. But before we get too far into it, if you're interested in more career-related news just like this directly from a corporate recruiter, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You might also want to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Now, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you've probably already heard this news, but I want to expand on what's going on with the National Labor Relations Board. So basically, what they've said is that employers can no longer force employees to be silent through a severance package. And typically what happens is when you get laid off, a company offers a severance package and there's a bunch of different stipulations that you have to sign off on in order to receive that money. And if you read the fine print, many of those agreements state that if you say anything disparaging about the company or share the details of your agreement with anybody else, then they can cut you off and hold that money hostage. So essentially, they're forcing you into silence. And obviously, it's a pretty big deal because the employee needs the money, they need the benefits continuation, and it's almost like a proverbial gun against your head, do this or else. And it's already not a fair situation for the employee because they just found out that they're losing their job. And on top of it, they're being required to stay silent about any issues that they might want to speak out against, because they don't want to lose that money, they don't want to lose that benefits continuation. And it's a pretty big deal. Apparently there was a hospital in Michigan that laid off a bunch of employees. As part of their severance package, they were prohibited from saying anything disparaging about the company, and they weren't even allowed to share any details with anybody about their severance packages. I guess they wanted to keep it hush-hush, because if you think about it, if one person's offered a certain amount and another person's offered a different amount for similar types of roles, similar type of time and service, it could be a pretty big issue for that company. And of course, there's also some financial penalties associated with this severance agreement for these employees. So they took exception to it, went and filed with the NLRB, and the NLRB agreed with the employee. We also have a similar situation happening at Twitter with the recent layoffs there. In the tech world, former Twitter employees were already taking action against the company for terms of their sudden layoffs after Elon Musk took over the company, according to a prominent civil rights lawyer who is representing about 100 workers. Their attorney says that the severance agreement is illegal under this ruling because it mandates confidentiality, prohibits workers from helping others in cases against the company, and forever banned ex-employees from saying anything negative about Twitter or about Elon Musk. So the NLRB looked into these cases and actually agreed with the employees. The NLRB and their decision called the non-disparagement clauses sweepingly broad and added that public statements by employers about the workplace are central to the exercise of employee rights under the National Labor Relations Act. They further clarified, a severance agreement is unlawful if it precludes an employee from assisting coworkers with workplace issues concerning their employer and from communicating with others, including a union and the board, about his employment, the board wrote in their decision. Now, of course, there'll probably be some employers who want to keep their skeletons in the closet and will go ahead and appeal this, but that usually takes a long period of time. But in the meantime, employers are going to have to look at their severance agreements that they've created for employees that they've already laid off, or for future severance agreements, because this language is now considered illegal. So what does this mean for the average employee who just got laid off and had to sign one of these agreements? It means that you can go onto LinkedIn or Glassdoor and share how you really feel about the organization without the worry or the threat of them taking away your severance. While that might feel good at the time, and I certainly can't blame you if you decide to do that, there might be some people that would want to maintain good relations with their employer in case they're eligible for rehire, or if they wanted to get a reference from them. But I'm not one to judge. You make the best decision for you. But I think what's even more impactful is now employees can talk about the terms of their severance package with their fellow employees without fear of it being taken away. And the reason why that's so important is it's the same concept as pay transparency. If you know what other people have gotten in their severance packages, it forces the employer to be consistent and fair across the board. Imagine if you found out that your coworker who was doing a similar job to you got more severance than you did for some arbitrary reason. Suddenly that picture becomes a lot different when you're looking at it from an equity lens. So it may force unscrupulous employers to really look long and hard about how they're approaching the severance packages to begin with. If you're witnessing some illegal behavior at your employer, you shouldn't have some sort of severance dangled over your head that prohibits you from doing the right thing. And now, of course, I'm not a labor attorney, so I can't give you legal advice, but if you have a severance severance package that has one of these clauses in it, you might want to revisit your employer about it or seek legal help. But I would imagine there'll be some employers out there scrambling to revise those severance agreements to take out that language in that clause. But all in all, I think that this is a win for employees, especially due to the volume and the unscrupulous nature of some of the layoffs that we've been seeing. But the very best thing that you can do to protect yourself in the event of a layoff is that you can prepare yourself for it. And you can do it through skilling up and making sure that your resume is as solid as possible, getting the right skills that employers demand, thinking about some side income streams to help protect yourself and protect your family in the event of an income disruption. If you're somebody that's completely caught off guard and you're not quite ready to make those transitions and you need a little bit more help, that's actually something that I specialize in. I have a website called alifeafterlayoff.com. It's loaded with tips and tricks, all from an insider's perspective. I do offer some of my deepest and most intimate knowledge in the form of some training courses that are designed to get you back to work as quickly as possible. First one's called Resume Rocketfuel, which is designed to teach you how to write a resume that's going to get a recruiter to notice you, ultimately to get you into that interview process. And once you get into the interview process, it's up to you to sell yourself all the way to the offer. And that's where the Ultimate Job Seeker Bootcamp comes in. It's going to break down each step of that interview process, give you tips, tools, techniques, all that kind of stuff. Of course, if you want to bypass the recruiter altogether, move right to the front of the line, you want to make sure that your LinkedIn game is on point. And that's where the Unlocking LinkedIn course comes in. It teaches you how to set up a LinkedIn profile that is going to give you maximum discoverability, and then how to leverage networks to get the best opportunities, including unlocking that hidden job market, which you're going to want to do. Trust me, if you're in an active job search, you want your discoverability to be as high as possible, to have those recruiters coming and finding you. It is a lot easier to get hired that way. And if you need more personalized help, I do offer some limited private one-on-one coaching sessions. You can reach me through my website for that and all the details. The point of this video is that I wanted to share this new development with you. I think it's a very positive thing for the laid off or displaced worker. Hopefully you never need it, but it's nice to know it's there. As always, appreciate you watching. Happy job hunting, and we'll see you on the next one.